Good morning. Gonna go ahead and get this emotional regulation started. You're gonna inhale and exhale, inhale and exhale, inhale and exhale on my descending count of 3, 2, 1. Let's get this neuro party started. 3, 2, 1. All right. Good morning, fam. All right. Here we is. It is us again. And I'm having a little hot flash right now. All right. I am Dr. Donna Thomas-Rodgers, daughter of Leslie Darnell Thomas, granddaughter of Arthur Jethro England II, and great-granddaughter of Levi Thomas. Welcome to your morning mental workout today. This live, as always, is sponsored by H2O, The Elements. Make sure that you have your water with you throughout the live today. I will say, drink water, and you will type in drink water, and then you will drink water. Now, you will just take a couple sips. You do not have to consume a whole 16-ounce bottle of water. Unless your ass is super thirsty, then that means you didn't hydrate yesterday. That's how that goes. Now, one thing I would like to say for those of you who are new, let's see what's going. Yeah, all right, a little bit, I'll tell you. All right, anyway, the reason why I introduced myself with my lineage is because I was watching Queen Charlotte. And it was a moment when not Queen Charlotte, but the other lady, I can't, it's been so long since I watched it, and she was telling her son who he was, and he was saying, I'm son of such and such and such. And I said, shit, I'm gonna say my lineage every time I introduce myself. Why not? Why not? And I also saw a TikTok video that said African Americans can't name all 8 of their great grandparents. I can name 5 of the 8 because William Thomas walked from Florida to Michigan to Detroit when he was 15, and he never said anything about his family. So even in his obituary and all of that, that none of that information is there. So, and he died in 1999 or somewhere around there, 97, something like that. So don't have that information, but I can name 5 out of the 8. And so I would have been a Thomas either way because my mother's last name was Thomas and my dad's last name was Thomas. So that's why there's 2 Thomases in that mix, because one is paternal, one is maternal, and Arthur Jethro Evelyn is my mother's father. So that's how that process works. So I thought it was interesting that I would be a Thomas no matter which way you slice it and dice it. But I do that on purpose because I am calling on my ancestors every day in order for me to do this work that I need to do. So I do not hesitate to say that I am Levi Thomas' great-granddaughter. You should be a Freeman. Is that your last name? Or is that what you're saying? You should be a Freeman from lineage perspective. And so we need to do more of that. And Levi was European American, and him and Goldie were rebels way back then. My grandmother was very, 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 very fair skinned. Yes, she was. Hence, me. There you have it. So I look just like my daddy, but my complexion comes from my great grandfather. 0. That's my dad's. Oh, I understand. Yes. And so it's still worth supporting. Now, let me be clear, Jared. My daddy wasn't shit. So let's be clear. Leslie didn't do but a couple things. I got his genetics, some of his neurology, and he went in one of his drunken stupors. He told me, "You a Thomas, and that means something. You a Thomas." So this wasn't this great father-daughter experience. But what I learned from John D. Rockefeller is that he is not junior because he's the second son, and his father was a raging alcoholic as well. And he made a decision very early on in his life that the Rockefeller name would mean something. And so because my ex-husband ain't shit and my father wasn't shit, I decided that I would take those 2 last names and make them become the shit. So yeah, that part. So when you hear Thomas Rogers, you think excellence, you think bad motherfuckingness and all of that. So you can change that around and say that. And so you use that name, but no relationship at all. Yes, exactly. And so, yeah, it was infrequent at best, and definitely not, we did not have any father-daughter talks and all of that. He didn't take me on my first date. There were no daddy-daughter dances or none of that stuff like that. Yes, interestingly enough, my father lived down the street as well with his sister on Glendale, closer towards Linwood. Yes. He lived with all of his sisters. So at one point, whenever I visited my aunts, He was one of their residents throughout my elementary life. Yes. So I get it. I told you on the last live. Hey, I'm everyday people, baby. Every day. You got the experience. I got the experience. Good morning, Angela. And I think you came from TikTok. So that's why, and Jared, it's your choice, but that's why I chose to turn a negative into a positive, because think positive, because every person has 50% good in them. So I chose to take the things that were in their DNA and said, I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna use it all, because I mean, scraps can turn into great pieces of art. And so I was born flawed, and that's okay, because now people can't use all of those things. Remember I said on the live today, it's like, why did all this stuff happen to me? And so now, yes. And so now people can't use that. You understand, but you don't understand that. Yeah, I do. I understand it better than most. And I'm willing to admit that shit, because there's some other people that understand, but they too chicken shit to admit that it took place in their life, because it goes against their persona that we talked about yesterday in the default mode network. So no, I built this facade, this Wizard of Oz bullshit, and I am not going to defer. I'm going to stay on script. I'm not. No, I'm not at all. Okay. Great discussion. So today we're talking about the 60th principle of real leadership, and it is eliminate or minimize stress. Eliminate or minimize stress. And the Dr. Donna quote to kick this neuro party off is, stress creates more stress, which creates more stress, which creates duress. So you get stress creating more stress, which is creating duress. And that's a hot ass mess. And we can't have that if you're going to become your best. You wouldn't be here without him. So if nothing else, he gave birth to somebody who's a bad motherfucker in the making. So you can leave it at that and keep it pushing. Because my ex-husband has 4 other children, and all of his children are extraordinary. He ain't shit, but all the rest of them are. So if nothing else, 5 amazing adults exist in the world because of him. And there you have it. So for all the shit that he fucked up, there are 5 other adults helping people and doing great things. Yes, my daughter is the youngest of that group. So 2 of them don't fuck with him, and 3 kind of talk to him. The oldest 2 talk to him more than the other ones. So yep, all things can come out of bad situations, good things. First you get the lesson, and then you get the blessing. And so stress is no brainer. Stress is coming from right here in temporal lobe, that cortisol. And you have a weak insulin, a weak ACC, and all of that happens. And then the next thing you know, it is stress palooza. And that is no brainer, because the brain doesn't function well under stress. So here's my definition of eliminate and minimize stress. A real leader understands that stress is not a badge of honor. I'm going to say that again. Hello. Stress is not a badge of honor. So don't wear that shit like it is. It's a barrier to a high functioning brain performance. You said what? You cannot have a high functioning brain if you are stressed. If you are stressed, it's not going to work, okay? So a real leader understands that. And to eliminate or minimize stress means to actively, you got to be present, you got to be active. You are going to remove, reduce, or reframe what overloads the brain's executive system. And that's this prefrontal cortex right here. Real leaders don't wait until burnout. I need a mental health day. I'm burnt out. No, fuck that. They lead their brain by creating calm, control, and clarity every day. Every day. I am getting rid of all kind of shit. I've been that way. I'm like, oh, this is stopping me from this. Fuck that. Bye. I won't be your friend no more. Good. I don't want to be your friend no more either. I don't want to date you no more. Good. I don't want to date you no more. I don't want to be married to you no more. Good. Hey, let's take it to the courthouse. Let's take it to the courthouse, because what you will not stop is my brain from being high functioning. We're not going to have that over here. I'm not taking on some neurotoxicity so I can have me an insignificant other, so I can have me some friends. Fuck them friends. People say fuck them kids, fuck them friends. Fuck them stands and them that stuck me. Because it is stopping you neurologically. You got to ask, do you want to be a bad motherfucker, or do you want to be sitting at to get an invite to the cookout? You want to get an invite to the family vacation? Which one you want to fucking do? Because you can't have both. I ain't never seen neurotoxicity and neuroclarity exist in the same brain. It can't happen. It can't happen. So to eliminate or minimize stress is to train the brain to identify unnecessary strain. Unnecessary strain. So learning and growing, me in my neuroscience class is not unnecessary strain. But me trying to be in a relationship with an insignificant other that ain't shit is unnecessary strain. and we remove mental clutter. We talked about eliminating distractions yesterday, and eliminating clutter is also one of the 74 principles of real leadership. And clutter up here manifests as clutter out here. So if you got junk and shit all over the place, check your brain, because that's where it started at. And we restore optimal neural balance so you can lead with focus. Stay focused is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. Precision, which basically means to be technically competent, and emotional stability, which is emotional regulation. So stress is no bueno. Stress is no bueno. I'm going to say that again. Stress is no bueno. There is no amount of toxic stress that your brain can function in and be high functioning. It will function, but it's not going to be to your best. And you can't be your best if you're sitting in a bunch of stupid ass stress. And stress comes mostly from other people. External anxiety. Jared, you and I grew up with fathers that weren't present in our life. That was stressful. That was stressful, especially with my mom. And your daddy. And your daddy. Well, your daddy. So she kept bringing him up. I didn't bring Harvey up to Nola. She didn't even know why we got divorced until years later. She saw on her own who he was, and I let her have that experience. And at no point have I told her, I mean, she does things like him. She puts on bolos and like fucking country bumpkin shit just with the best of them. I call her City Sippy, because she's from Detroit. I'm from Detroit. He's from Mississippi. And so there is balance. Because at one point I did love him. At one point I said, that's he mine. Look at him over there. Yeah. So I'm not going to say that, oh, there's something wrong with him, because that would mean that there was something wrong with me too. We are all imperfect people. We are all flawed. We come here wired with negativity bias. And now it's our job to undo that shit. And so you can't do it in a stressful environment. I was never going to become Dr. Donna Thomas-Rodgers married to Harvey Rogers. It was never, he don't have a middle name. That was never going to fucking happen under no circumstances. So I had to choose me and my child over being married. Well, sometimes marriage goes through rough patches. This shit been rough the whole 2.5 years. Fuck this. I wasn't having rough patches before I got married. So I had before. I don't like this after photo. I'm going to go back to the before photo. That was better. That was the single life. Yes. That was better for me. It worked out immensely. So here's the neuroscience insight into stress. Chronic stress floods the amygdala, located in the temporal lobe, and weakens the prefrontal cortex, the prefrontal lobe. Okay, your decision-making and your self-control center. So this going to be weak because this right here, it floods it. Now all that cortisol go everywhere. So by minimizing stress, you reactivate the prefrontal cortex ACC relationship, that circuit. This is strong and this is regulated. And it improves your clarity, your emotional regulation, and your problem solving. You ain't never been able to solve a problem stress. You have made a dumbass plan that you later, when you weren't stressed, had to go, what the fuck was I? Why the? Okay, now how am I going to fix this? So the brain performs at its best. And remember, be the best is one of the 74 principles of real leadership, when it is alert, but not overloaded. When it is alert, okay? That's how it happens. That is what takes place. So here are some real leader action steps that you can take. And then I'm going to go into more. And then we're going to drink some water after these action steps. So you can inspect what you expect. So identify the stress triggers you have created through unclear expectations. So you're going to identify what is causing me stress. And they have that TikTok video when the doctor said, I got to let all my stress out, and people are letting out their family, their pets, and everything else. That's a great example of that. You got to identify who is stressing me out. And next, you have to delegate. And we talked about this yesterday. Release what does not require your brain's bandwidth. If it does not require you to actually do it, delegate that growth opportunity to someone else. Now, you don't delegate your growth opportunities, but anybody in the house can wash the dishes. Anybody in the house can do the laundry. Anybody in the house can take the trash out. Anybody in the house can do landscaping if you're over the age of about 13, because that's when I had my landscaping business. So you start having everybody around you do their part, and then you won't be stressed because they all have 86 billion neurons as well. You remove obstacles, so you simplify systems and processes that create unnecessary tension. And my daughter's business is quite complex. The things that I do in education is quite complex. So I have a system. I have a agenda for lives that I go over. I have a system to prepare for them. I have a system for reading. I have a system for learning. I have a system for everything that I do. So my basal ganglia, when it's time to read, picks up a book, picks up my reading glasses and a red pen, finds a place to sit, and I got a system for that. I have a system for flossing my teeth. I start at the back, go all the way this way, come back down here and do this. I start brushing my teeth. I take my peroxide and then I put my toothpaste on there and brush my teeth. I got a system for how I put shea butter on my doggone face. I have a system for taking care of my skin. I exfoliate on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday with salt. I have a system for washing, shaving my head. I put this shaving cream on there and I start on this side and go this way. Then I wet the razor and I go back and then I go over it one more time and I'm done. I take the alcohol, pop, 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 get in the shower, wash everything, get back out, put some more alcohol on, and I'm good to go. So I have a system for everything that I do, which is why I don't experience high levels of stress, even though today is day number 706 live for me. So you have to, but you can't develop those systems if you up in here with some emotional dysregulation, because you're going to need immediate gratification. You're going to need some manufactured dopamine. You're going to need an external stimulus. I just need to be motivated. I need to be motivated to clean my house. You wasn't motivated when that motherfucker got junky. Isn't that interesting? You got shit all over your house and you didn't need no music to not clean up. I said it. You didn't need not Anita Baker, or whomever else, rock music, or no AC/DC, or nobody else to clean your to junk it up. So how could you junk it up in silence? But now you need the SOS band to hype you up in order for you to get your shit cleaned up. Where the hell that come from? I'm going to just turn this music on and we're going to clean. No, keep it quiet. You need to ask your ass why you got 7 pair of shoes at the front door. You need to ask yourself, why is every outfit you wore sitting on the floor? You need your quiet time. You don't need nobody singing, so you just, hanging on my clothes. I ain't doing shit but hanging on my clothes. No. No. All I got to do is put that stuff back. Exactly. Got it. Somebody's message was held for review, so I can't even view it. Whoever said something, re-say it. So that's the whole point. You got all this stress that you created in silence, and now you need all this external stimuli. It wasn't the external stimuli when you put yourself in that shit. What external stimuli did you have for this insignificant other that you said yes to when your insular brain and your gut brain was saying, no, warning, red flag, yellow flag, green flag, rainbow flag, stop. And you didn't listen. And now you got all these people that you got to consult to get out of this shit. You didn't consult nobody to get in it. So the same decision-making, dumbass decision-making that got you there, you need a strong prefrontal cortex in order for that to work. So before I continue on with how much stress do I have quiz, drink water. And I have 3 more to recover, to go over before we do the quiz. Oh, and I didn't drink the water. TikTok got me thirsty. I didn't drink enough water over there. So yeah, you got to remove obstacles. And the other 3 is this. Number 4 is be coachable. That's what the Instagram subscription is all about, is you being coachable. You strengthen your prefrontal cortex and being able to do those things that give you emotional regulation so you can go off in your everyday life and be a bad mofo. So being coachable means accepting feedback that helps you manage your stress smarter and not harder. And so people get messages from me behind the scenes, and then you get things that you think about in front, in the groups and all of that, because your life is stressful. How do I know that? Because everybody's brain is hardwired for negativity bias, and negativity bias causes stress because there's no light, there's no positivity. Here recently, since I'm not on complete no screen time, yesterday I spent a couple minutes on TikTok, and I have 2 sides of my TikTok. The gossiping people that's doing all of this other stuff that's just happening because I was gone for so long, their stuff is coming through. And then the educational people. And so I listen to the political educational people, and I'm saying, if you wake up every day, you got to make a video about this. That's negativity bias. If all your content is about this, that's negativity bias. The 70% of your content is about this because you're waking up, scouring the internet for some negative shit to talk about and then highlight it. And so what is the objective? The objective is to get a bunch of people to watch the video, to get a bunch of people to comment so you can get a check. Okay, but all money ain't good money. What if you just brought facts? And I know that's not going to happen currently, but what if you just brought facts and let people decide on their own? When I asked you a question, today's question in the Real Leader chat is today I will. And now you figure out what that is, because it's your brain. You're wiring your brain for your place that you live, for the community in which you reside, for the bad motherfuckingness that you're creating. So I'm not going to tell you what that is. And so if I tell you that and now I tell you this negative thing and you get all upset, what did I do? I stopped your brain from being high functioning. I stressed you the fuck out. Now, why would I do that? Why would I, Dr. Donna Thomas-Rodgers, do that? I wouldn't. But why would anybody do that? Why would anybody create stress for you? Because they're stressed too. And stress together flocks together. Chickens of a feather flock together. Stressed people stay stressed together. And so everybody talks about trauma bonding, but no one talks about stress bonding. Who did stress me out? Come on, let's go to the bar. I told y'all I was at an appointment with Nola, and the person was on the phone their friend needed a job, and she said, well, just come over tonight. We'll help you look for a job. And she said, I just want to do a healthy amount of mushrooms. I didn't know that was a measurement. I didn't know that. I'm like, so he can't find a job. Y'all gonna come together and help him find a job, and then the reward loop is gonna be a healthy amount of mushrooms. That's not gonna go well. That's a dumbass plan. And so now you are consuming all of this stress, and then, good morning, Sean, and then you're trying to figure out why you can't be your best, because you are accepting stress invites every time it shows up, and you don't have a system to eradicate it. You don't have a system to say, hold up, wait a minute, why the fuck did I consume that? What the heck? No, I'm not talking about that. No. You can speak facts to the stress. You can say objectively, this is not true. On my TikTok live this morning, I was telling people about something, and somebody told me to tell them about the flux capacitor for impulses. Now, that's not what that person said. I'm just saying that's what they said. And I said, what does that have to do with what I'm talking about? Why would I be measuring the impulses of something? And because when someone says brain, you all have a picture in your head of a neurologist, a neuroscientist, a medical doctor, a psychologist, a psychotherapist, or something, and you want to hear these high-level 15-syllable words. What the fuck is measuring impulses got to do with inhibition control? Because that's what I was talking about. And people left understanding what inhibition control is and how they don't have it and what they need to do to fix it. So measuring impulses with the flux capacitor is not going to be good for you either. And that's what I said on TikTok. I got all these high-level intelligent people talking, and then I have these unintelligent people creating stress and trauma bonding and negativity bias. And I'm in the middle, like, so yeah, no screen time. And not now, it's just like, I can learn and I can like be the conduit to tell you what the smart people said, the intelligent people said, and then I can say, don't listen to them. But there is no one bringing balance to you for you to have a balanced existence neurologically so you can tap into your bad motherfuckingness. It's not there. It's not present, unfortunately, for now. But it can be in the future, because I'm very optimistic that once everybody learns how to use their brain, that they're going to be functioning differently. But it's a large amount of stress just created being around other adults. Stressed. Hijacked amygdalas. Cortisol leaking everywhere, because of this inability to strengthen this prefrontal cortex and this inability to stop giving Amy and Lala what they want with the basal ganglia. Say, yeah, tell them to keep watching TikTok. Did they watch the news yet? Or tell them to go on NPR. Did they? Now, come on. Now, we didn't even get to our podcast yet. That's what's taking place. And now you're trying to figure out why you're so stressed. Look around you. Look around you. So you got to be willing to be coachable to say you're going to have to cut that out. You're going to have to stop all of that if you want neural clarity. Now you got to grow continually. And that's what the live was for yesterday, if I'm not, yes, grow continually. So it builds stress resilience through learning, reflection, and rest. How you combat stress is learning, reflection, and rest. Sometimes you're so stressed you just need to take a nap. You had a long day and it happens. Take a nap. Go get you do a brain dump before you go to sleep, and then wake back up. But you need resilience and you need to learn. The more you learn, the more you learn. And the more information you have, like that person on TikTok talking about the flux capacitor, because I know why I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm like, that's not what I'm talking about. And I'm not about to sit here and try to make y'all think I'm smart. I am. And if I need to demonstrate that for some idiot, I can. But what would be the point? I am the everyday leader for everyday life. I'm telling you how to win your day using your brain so that you can be a bad motherfucker every day for the rest of your life. Why would I be telling you I got to take sleep more seriously? You do. I promise you, Jared, Nola loves sleeping in my bed, sitting on it and everything. I'm a master. You got to get your 1,000 count sheets or above. You need a pillow topper. You need a firm mattress. You get a press. That's why I still got the same bedspread. I'm like, I don't have a bed. They ain't made a bedspread comfortable with my bedspread. But the right blankets. I got an Afghan that my aunt made me when I was 8 years old. I get a good night's rest, even with the hot flashes that might come. I got a fan that's quiet now. Sleep. I got my sleep mask on. I got my firm pillow. Whoo! Best night's rest. Yes. Yes, I know how to take a good nap and get a good night's rest. Got soft, comfortable pajamas with my nice cotton socks and that. Okay, anyway, I digress. That's why you gotta take naps. I'm a sleeptologist over here too. So the point is that you gotta grow continually. Grow continually. And my sinuses, hey, I got sinusitis. And I literally do a nasal rinse. Neti pot. Are you doing a neti pot? I do a nasal rinse every day. Clear these sinus passages out. It's like a shower for your nose, nasal passageway. It's amazing. I do it every day with a saline solution. If you message me, I'll show you the one that I use. But it has been amazing. I've been neti potting for almost 3 years now. Best thing ever. You got a Navage? What is that? I never heard of that. Do you use it every day? Eye rinse, nasal rinse, and ear oil. There you go. That's what Bridget is telling you to do. And you might need to do yours at night before you go to sleep. I do mine in the morning. Oh, you don't use it. Well, then end the discussion. You got to use it. That's why you can't sleep. See, at least you're being accountable now, personally accountable. You need to start using it today, and then you're going to sleep better. All right. And then next is to be forward thinking. So you have to anticipate and neutralize potential stressors before they appear. Now, in Nola's business, same as a neti pot, but okay. Yes, Jared, you got to start using it. Come on now. If you was looking for a sign, this is it. So in Nola's business, people that book her on TaskRabbit literally have to submit what they want. She sends a lesson, she sends questions to them, and then they respond. And then she tells me what they said. And based upon their verbiage, I will say yes or no, because I can tell what type of person we're going to be dealing with by what they wrote up. And she's getting a lot better at that as well. And so I play that movie out. Here is what they want. Here is what they're telling you and all of that. And the answer is no, because that's going to be an extremely stressful appointment. And again, all money ain't good money. And so because of my ability to be able to communicate effectively and be able to read people and understand them, there is a lot less stress that could have taken place in her business because I understand people. And that's why when I was in the military as a second lieutenant, you're in your early 20s, they pair you with the E7 platoon sergeant who's been in the Army anywhere from 13 to 15 years, because you need that old head there with that guidance and that wisdom. Because as a platoon leader, I didn't even have my fully developed prefrontal cortex. So once you're over the age of 25, but before then, you can still start planning a movie out and be forward thinking to say, is that going to lead to stress? Is that going to lead me to stress? Is that going to lead me to stress? Somebody invites you to an event? Yeah, no, I'm good. I got to watch the paint dry. Ain't the paint dry in your house? Yeah, but I just want to look at it and see how it dried. I just want to look and see if I can see a picture in the textured walls. Anything other than go to the thing that you're talking about. Because what I'm not going to do is have neurotoxicity for the benefit of the family. Fuck y'all. That's not happening. Not coming. Well, you know you're going to make Big Mama mad. I'll call Big Mama ahead of time. I'll let Big Mama know why I ain't coming. She know y'all crazy as a bed of Bessie Bugs. I'm not coming. Now, who going to be there? Who? Oh, no. Nope. Well, we going to call. Don't call me. Don't call me. I'm not going to answer the phone. If you call too many times, I'm going to block you. So, no, do not call me. All right. So, do we understand that the real leadership actions are you inspect what you expect, you delegate, you remove obstacles, you be coachable, you grow continually, and you be forward thinking. Again, the 74 principles of real leadership are there on my website, turnarounddoctor.com. All you have to do is go there, decline the cookies. It's sitting right there. And you can look at all 74 of them in the 8 sections, the real and the pink sections are directly from my book. Now, we are getting ready to take a how much stress do you have quiz. So go ahead and drink water. And one thing I will say before we do the quiz, and it's going to be color coded. So you're going to have to say green, yellow, or red. So if you want to put a G, a R, or a red, a G, a yellow, a G, a Y, or an R next to it, each question, because you're going to have to add up your colors and get to a majority. Chad and I couldn't agree on what a majority is, but I'm going to say 6. All right. Thumbs up for everybody that's ready to take the quiz. Thumbs up. How much stress you got? A lot. How much stress do you have? And so I will read the question to you twice, and then you will write a G or the word green, yellow, or a Y. Nola, put your thumb up. Or R or the color red. So your answers will be green, meaning rarely. Sometimes it's yellow, and red is often. Okay? I'm going to read you the question twice, and you are going to say green for rarely. You said if I'm ready to take the quiz. I know what I said. You ready? Okay, so listen. It's 10 questions. I'm going to read the questions twice. And I'm going to read the question, then I'm going to read the question again. And then I'm going to pause. And your response to the question is either going to be green, which is rarely, yellow, which is sometimes, or red, which is often. But your answers are green, yellow, or red. Rarely, sometimes, or often. Okay? And I know this is going to be fucked up, but we're going to get through this. Okay? So, question number 1. Do you wake up feeling mentally tired even after sleep? Do you wake up feeling mentally tired even after sleep? So if it's rarely, write your answer is green. If it's sometimes, your answer is yellow. And if it's often, your answer is red. Keep it on the paper, Angela. Don't keep track of it yourself. You don't have to type the answer in here. So you don't have to keep it. So you don't have to type the answer. You're going to keep track of it yourself because you're going to have to add them up, the colors up. Yes, so keep track of it yourself. All right. Question number 2. Do small tasks feel heavier than they should? Do small tasks feel heavier than they should? If your answer is rarely, then it's green. If it's sometimes, then it's yellow. If it's often, then your answer is red. Okay. Question number 3. Does your mind race when you try to relax? Does your mind race when you try to relax? So if it's rarely, your answer is green. If it's sometimes, your answer is yellow. And if it's often, your answer is red. Number 4, do you replay mistakes or what ifs in your head? Do you replay mistakes or what ifs in your head? If your answer is, if it's rarely, then it's green. If it's sometimes, then it's yellow. If it's often, then it's red. I think y'all got the hang of it now. Okay. Question number 5. Do you find it hard to focus on one thing at a time? Do you find it hard to focus on one thing at a time? I might as well just keep saying it. If it's rarely, your answer is green. If it's sometimes, your answer is yellow. And if it's often, your answer is red. Question number 6. Do you feel you must do everything yourself? Do you feel you must do everything yourself? If it's rarely, your answer is green. If it's sometimes, your answer is yellow. And if it's often, your answer is red. Number 7. Do you skip breaks because you don't have time? Do you skip breaks because you don't have time? If it's rarely, the answer is green. If it's sometimes, the answer is yellow. And if it's often, the answer is red. Number 8. Do you feel irritated or impatient easily? Do you feel irritated or impatient easily? If it's rarely, then the answer is green. If it's sometimes, the answer is yellow. And if it's often, the answer is red. 2 more questions to go. Number 9. Does your brain crave control or perfection? Does your brain crave control or perfection? If it's rarely, then the answer is green. If it's sometimes, your answer is yellow. And if it's often, your answer is red. The final question is this. Do you rarely feel proud of what you've already done? Do you rarely feel proud of what you've already done? If it's rarely, the answer is green. If it's sometimes, the answer is yellow. And if it's often, the answer is red. Now, before I give you the scoring, what questions, if any, do you need me to repeat? Before I give you the scoring, what questions, if any, do you need me to repeat? My eyes are itching today. I haven't done my nasal rinse yet. Do I need to go on YouTube? Oh, there we go. Daisy got number 2. Got it. Give me 1 second. I thought I need to go. Give me 1 second, Daisy. All right. Daisy number 2 is, do small tasks feel heavier than they should? Do small tasks feel heavier than they should? Rarely is green. Sometimes is yellow. And often is red. Do small tasks feel heavier than they should? Okay, anyone else before I reveal the answers? Now, chat said mostly on these, and so I'm going to go with what we do in the legal system is 51% or more is a critical mass, and that's what happens if you are in an organization. If you own 51% more majority stake in the corporation, then you are the majority owner. So 6 or more means mostly of these colors. So if you have 6 or more, that is what mostly is meaning. So if you have mostly greens, that means 6 or more greens, then your brain is balanced and focused. You minimize stress by staying proactive, clear, and calm. And you keep using principles of real leadership like inspect what you expect and delegate. So again, mostly green. Your brain is balanced and focused. You minimize. Okay, yes. Add up your colors. Thank you, my amazing offspring. So add up your colors. Don't put your colors in the comment. Add up your greens, your yellows, and your red. Add them up. I apologize because I forgot to say that. I was too busy defining mostly. So, yep, you don't have to put it, Sean, but got it. You can put it if you want to, but you don't have to. So add them up, and then I'll tell you what it is. So Nola, let me know once you added yours up. Okay, Jared, you didn't have to. So add your colors up, Jared. It look like you got a balance. It look like you don't have 6 of anything right now. You got a mix. Okay. So Nola, are you good? Did you add up your colors? Y'all like, we hate ChatGPT. Fuck chat. But it's not 6. So we're going to go with mostly as well. I said 6. The last 5, what, Bridget? The last 5, what? Bridget, I will send you the questions because for the sake of time. If you're saying tell you the last 5. Okay, so mostly. We're going to go with the most of the majority of your answers then, because 6 is mostly, but okay. So if you have mostly green, your brain is balanced and focused. You minimize stress by staying proactive. You're clear and calm, and you're using the principles of real leadership like inspect what you expect and delegate. If you have mostly yellows, your brain is showing early strain. Stress is building. Start using be forward thinking to plan rest. Remove obstacles that drain you and grow continually by adding mindful breaks. So if you are mostly yellows, Jared, that's you. Be forward thinking to plan rest. And we just identified that you're not planning your rest because you're not even using your electronic nasal rinse. And then Daisy, Bridget, I'm gonna have to send you the quiz because to do that would be time consuming at this point. So I'm gonna send you the quiz. You add up the numbers, and then I'll tell you what that means. I will send you that on Instagram after I take my shower. Okay. So mostly yellow. So be forward thinking so you can plan your rest. Remove obstacles that drain you. That's removing obstacles is the principle of real leadership, and grow continually by adding mindful breaks. Yes. And then mostly red, your brain is overloaded. The amygdala is running the show. You need to eliminate stress now. You need to declutter your schedule and say no and delegate and rewire calm through daily reflection and rest. So you have a stressed out brain if you have mostly red. Your brain is overloaded, the amygdala is running the show, and you need to eliminate stress now. Declutter your schedule, say no, delegate, and rewire your calm through daily reflection and rest. Mine is even across the board, but it's flawed. So do you need me to send you the question if you didn't get the last 5? Bridget, I'm trying to understand what you're saying. So a real leader doesn't manage stress. They master the conditions that cause it. A real leader does not manage. I'm going to manage my stress. No, you're not. You're going to master the conditions that cause it and remove that shit. It's got to go. So long, sucker. See you later. Bye-bye, baby. Absolutely not. Kick rocks. All right. Give me 1 second because I had a lot. There we go. And I believe I did not. That's what I was missing yesterday. All right. Drink water. Let me see if I can drink coffee. Did y'all hear me say drink? There we go. Questions? Bridget, my question to you is, did you miss the last 5? Now, if you had asked me these questions before I started seeing you, it would have been more yellow. You have really helped me a lot, and I am very humble. My pleasure, Sean. You are a good student. All of you are, because you're learning in an environment that has been produced by me. It's not your typical learning environment. Daisy, they literally flagged you for saying drink water. I don't understand YouTube at all. You said drink water, and they flagged that. Just stupid. They don't even make no damn sense. That's crazy. All right. Angela, you still on here, or did you dip? This works. I will improve my sleeping routine. Yes. Well, first you can start using your electric neti pot. That's going to improve your breathing and your nasal passageway. You're going to stop having sinus pressure. That's step 1. All that dust that you're dealing with in the doggone post office is causing problems. Hopefully you wearing a mask in there, because it's dusty as shit in there. All the boxes and stuff. That's problem number 1. Okay, service is sketchy. Yes, exactly. Definitely. I will definitely be wearing to get that dust out your nasal passageway. You really need to do it at the end of the day too, because you've been there all day. So it will make sense. You can actually do it twice a day, but you definitely need to flush all that out. That's why you can't sleep. And you got to do brain dumps. Okay, so the brain bit for today is your brain as headphones. Dr. Donna says, real leaders don't let noise become their soundtrack. They curate their mental playlist. So your brain as headphones. Your brain is like a pair of headphones. What you plug into, you hear the most. You say what now? What you plug into. I just said that as I'm on TikTok going, yeah, I'm not plugging into that. No, I'm not plugging into that. That's what you're going to hear the most. So when you stop listening to what you're listening to, left amygdala is going to be telling you what you already heard and saw. It's going to be reminding you of your default mode network. You're going to start ruminating on it. That's why you have to have self-reflection time in your prefrontal cortex. Yes. So if you keep tuning into noise, your focus circuits, the prefrontal cortex, weaken. You said what, Doc? If you keep tuning into noise, your prefrontal cortex and your frontal lobe, your prefrontal cortex, they get weak. So how'd your prefrontal cortex get weak? You was tuning into noise, a lot of noise, a lot of nonsense, a lot of piffleness, a lot of mess, a lot of bullshit. So real leaders unplug from negativity and tune into growth, gratitude, and goals. So you unplug from that negativity bias. And it's going to be hard. Why, Dr. Donna? Because the basal ganglia and the amygdala like it. It's immediate gratification. It gives you a reason to stay safe and stay the same, which means stuck in a rut and you can't get your butt up. You can't even get up to go to the hippocampus bank of neurons and go talk to the dentate gyrus and say, hey, I'm going to need some new neurons. No, you can't do that. And then it becomes something that you crave every day. Got to get it. Where's the negativity coming from? See, this is why I'm going to stay at my job. This is why I'm going to stay married, because we need 2 incomes. Now you're going to keep telling yourself all these different things. And as a result of that, you are going to keep listening to negative noise. You're going to keep listening to it. You guess you're invisible today. You're not invisible today, Bridget. Why would you say that? You say, yes, Dr. Donna, send them. And I said, okay. So why are you saying that you are invisible today? And then finally, remember, what you play on repeat rewires your brain. So whatever you are playing on repeat, that's what's wiring your brain. So if you say I stuck, if you say I'm stupid, I'm dumb, I can't learn that, I'm too old for that, it's too late for me, then you're right. Because that's what the basal ganglia is going to keep sending you every single day. And that's what the left amygdala, thanks to the hippocampus, thanks to the left amygdala, is going to keep reminding you of everything that went left. Everything that went left. So, yeah, what you listen to is going to be what you hear day in and day out. So finally, before I ask the last question, I like listening to positive music. Yes. Drink water. So drink water. Bridget, what I will tell you is that everybody has an experience on YouTube of getting kicked off, of their comments not showing. It's happened to me. I have had to restart whole lives. They wouldn't let me flip from my green screen. So I have a whole live with a green screen behind me because it was stuck. And it wouldn't even let me put my graphic up, and it wouldn't let me let my wall behind me show. And that's why I have to have a tablet here, which I have said before, is that if y'all are commenting and I know that y'all are commenting, then I have to go on YouTube and look on my tablet to see what you all are saying. And as I mentioned, this platform, every platform has pros and cons. And everybody, Nola could be getting kicked off and we're in the same house and I will be fine. Or I'm the one who can't see anything and now I got to go out and she's fine. It's just because of the sheer amount of people that are using this platform and the code in which all of these things are written on. So sometimes it is weather related, but sometimes it is picking and choosing. Even if I'm the live creator that's running the show, I have that experience as well. So it's in that moment where you just have to have 10 significant seconds of silence and say, okay, this is what's happening. This is what's taking place. But it isn't that you are invisible. That's something else. What's going on with you? Because this ain't what you normally say on a daily basis. So something else is taking place. And now this is manifesting itself as if this is what's actually taking place. It is happening to all of us. That is the facts. Everybody. People have said, you can't see my comments. You didn't know it said it. I'm like, I don't see it. Type it again. I mean, they just flagged Daisy for saying drink water. And then this time they didn't. And she spelled it the same way, if I'm not mistaken. She might have had one less A at the end. So when you have algorithms and computers doing things, there are glitches. That's why computers are not going to take over the world. One of your live, my phone buffered through the entire live. Yep. And it won't matter. You could be on 5G, 7G. You could be on data. And it just happens. And I don't attend anybody else's live, so I don't know if it's functioning for them. I just know my own experience is that is the experience. But it is part of being on live and everybody being where we are and attempting to connect. So it has glitches. And I don't know if you've ever noticed this. I figured this out. If you ever have problems on social media on Wednesday and Thursdays, that's when they bring the servers down because those are the least consumption days on social media. And so you'd be like, what's wrong with my phone? What's wrong with this? What's going on? And what's that? Yes, and that happens, Bridget. So today is just your turn. One thing is, it's fair. So it's happened to me and everybody else on here. As you can see, Sean said her phone buffered the whole entire live. So that's what happens. But the good news is you can always watch the replay because that's going to work. Once it's on there, it's on there. If I'm on there, then it's on there. But it just happens because you have all of these different devices. The servers are located in different parts of the world. We have different connections, different internet connections, different data, different phones. The satellites out of space are bouncing off of it. So when you put all of that together, sometimes it's just not going to work. That's just technology and how it goes, and power, and depending on what else is happening. If a lot of things happen and got a lot of people online, then the system is going to be overloaded. If they just brought the servers down, servers go down. You're trying to switch stuff over. If you're working on updating the app, a lot of things taking place. And I would say that too. If you haven't updated your app, update your app too, because sometimes that causes connectivity issues as well. Okay, so what did you learn today? What did you learn about yourself? And what was your brain conversation yesterday? What did you learn today? What did you learn about yourself? And what was your brain conversation yesterday? And again, Daisy, I'm going to take my shower and then I will be sending you the questions later this morning, but you will have them. Then you answer them and then I will tell you which one matches your responses. I mean, Bridget, not Daisy. So Angel F, are you still there or did you dip out with the quiz or did you buffer out? What did you learn today? What did you learn about yourself? What was your brain? Because we was conversating. What was y'all conversating about yesterday about your brain? You know what I'm saying? We was conversating. I learned to drop people who are stressing you out. They got to go so you can grow. And you can give them an ultimatum. You can say, hey, you can stick around, but all you got to do is start using your brain. Now, ask me why I'm saying say that. You can stick around, but all you got to do is learn how to use your brain. Because that is what they have. They call, it's a very technical term, receipts. So when they go and start burning bread and lying on your name, you can say, no. I said you could stick around. All you got to do is learn how to use your brain. So now you can say, well, I don't want to use my brain. Okay, cool, bet. Roger that. Clean slate. Daisy said, what I learned today is that I need to rewire my brain. Noah said, I learned about myself that I have improved in some areas of stress, but I'm not all greens yet, so I have work to do. Yes, ma'am. We all do. I'm not all greens either. I learned that your brain is a sponge. When thinking negative, your brain will also give you the same vibe. What I learned about myself, to stay positive and give myself a chance to think and not over. I learned that your brain is a sponge. Yes. Overthinking. Yes, ma'am. And Sean, like right now, my phone is buffering. And Jared said, right. So that way, Jared, you're objective. So there is not one person in my life that I am not talking to, and they are confused as to why we are no longer connected. So you close that off, because otherwise people will be trying to double back, and people will still try to double back too. But you just set that boundary again. So are you ready to learn how to use your brain? No. Okay, cool. Bet. Good luck. Nola said, I learned that grow continuously can help relieve stress, which is interesting. Yes, ma'am, because you can't grow and be stressed at the same time. Bridget said, I learned that I have to stand in the corner of this house to get served. I'm not I'm not laughing at you, Bridget. I did not think that that's what you was going to say. Then get a chair and go over there. Yes, ma'am. Nola said, my conversation about my brain was having cognitive overload from talking about my feelings more than I have to do it more, so it gets easier. Let these jokers know. Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, Nola and she is on getting her autism in check. And so she has to talk about her feelings every hour on the hour, and she didn't want to do it last night. And so we got to the root of the matter. And she said, I feel like I'm doing this a lot. And so I asked Chat, I said, well, how much thinking should you be doing in a 17-hour day? Anybody want to guess? Nola, don't say the answer if you remember it. Anybody want to guess what answer Chat said in a 17? Because most people are awake 17 hours a day. That gives you 119 hours a week. So in a 17-hour day, she said, I can't be feeling this much. This don't even make no sense. Like on the hour, every hour, that don't even make no sense. That's what she said. So anybody, please take an educated guess at what Chat said on average in a 17-hour day. A lot. That's not a number, Jared. Just throw a number out there. I'm persistent in getting service to hear Dr. Donna. Anybody else, I'd have been gone. Well, thank you, Bridget. I appreciate that. I do. And this is for you. Chat said 40%. Anyone? I got your answer, Bridget. Chat said 40%. Anybody else want to take an educated guess? 1,000. Okay, Jared. Overworked. That's your answer, Sean? 100. Okay. All right. So chat said this right here, ladies and gentlemen. So you experience around 400 distinct emotional events per day. 400 distinct emotional events per day. And in a 17 waking hour period, that's roughly one emotional experience every 2 to 3 minutes. Every 2 to 3 minutes. And so what happens though is that your amygdala, insula, and prefrontal cortex are constantly interpreting internal and external stimuli. So each interpretation sparks a feeling, meaning your brain is effectively generating hundreds to thousands of feeling signals across the day. So conservatively, an estimate is 300 to 400 feelings in 17 hours. A high estimate is those micro emotions include several thousand emotional fluctuations a day. So that's every 2 to 3 minutes. So that's when Nola quickly realized that she needed a different strategy, because she was doing it every hour on the hour when we're not working. And she thought 17 times a day, because it don't even start till 7 o'clock because of the lie. So she thought 12 to 14 times a day was a lot. And you got emotional experiences every 2 to 3 minutes that you're awake. So that's 400 significant. But if you count the micro things that you're just observing and looking at, you talking hundreds of thousands. So when people say, fuck your feelings, how? How you gonna do that? That's why that feelings PDF that I sent y'all is so important, because every 2 to 3 minutes you shifted and feeling something. You can be in traffic, you can be standing in line, you can get a phone call, you can get an email, the work could change, the grandkids, the kids could say in 2 to 3 minutes, you're feeling. So we are feeling all damn day long. And now we want to address one feeling. One. That's why that list has so many different feelings on it, because within an hour, you talking 20 to 30 feelings in an hour. On average, you could be feeling hungry, sleepy, lonely, angry, and tired. Halt and shout in an hour. Now what you gonna do? That's why emotional regulation is so important. Nah, we gotta exactly, Jared. Now when I say that everybody in the world has emotional dysregulation, it don't sound crazy no more. It don't sound crazy. Because you like, these motherfuckers is making crazy ass decisions. How many feelings did they have in order to lead to that dumbass plan? Is that because of lack of emotional intelligence and not having emotional awareness? Emotional intelligence is some bullshit, okay? They selling y'all that shit. It was called something else years ago and years ago before that. It's not fucking intelligence. It's awareness. It is awareness. Emotional IQ works so that you could go to your job and take more shit off your people. I had a 10-year career, almost a 10-year career in corporate America, and that's some bullshit to keep you at your job so that you can stay regulated and you can stop feeling. I didn't say don't feel the feelings. I said process the feelings. So that's a nice little buzzword, just like DEI is the old affirmative action. They're just dusting off old shit and selling it to y'all in a different package. It's still a shit no matter what package it's in. It still stinks and it's toxic as hell. So no, it's not. I'm not about to be taking, oh, this is the new emotional intelligence. No, it's neurologically based. If you have emotional dysregulation, which means that you are not in control of your emotions, that means your emotions are running your prefrontal cortex. That means that you have a cortisol brain that's full of brain fog, and you have a weak prefrontal cortex. So emotional intelligence is not going to strengthen your prefrontal cortex, because as soon as somebody cuts you off in traffic, you are not going to be emotionally intelligent anymore. You are not going to access your inhibition control. You're not going to do 10 significant seconds of silence. You're going to cut them off or flip them the bird. That's what I'm saying. So I know your brain wants to add somatic markers to try to comfortize what I'm saying, but you need to experience discomfort. You need to experience it. So I've not read the emotional intelligence book, but I did spend almost 10 years in corporate America. So I know what that's designed to do. I did hire managers and fire people and hire hourly employees. And I was actually a bad mofo while I was there. And I was in operations. I was on the money side of the business for almost 10 years at a Fortune 100 company. You can go look at my LinkedIn if you desire it. But no, I don't use buzzwords. I'm the everyday leader for the everyday life. So my objective is not to be sitting somewhere on some panel talking real philosophical shit, because that's not going to change shit. They already doing that, and that shit is not working. So if emotional intelligence worked, then I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. I would be doing something else, because I'm not going to hustle on a crowded block. That's not what's going to happen. So you need emotional regulation. That's neurology. That's neuroscience. So when you have emotional regulation, your prefrontal cortex, which has the executive function in your brain, is running your brain. And you're going to access all the good shit. When you have emotional dysregulation, the amygdala and the basal ganglia are causing a bunch of fucking problems and creating cortisol and creating stress. And they're dysregulating the insula and the ACC, as well as the hippocampus. None of that shit is going to function properly because the wrong part of the brain is running the brain. That's what's taking place. So that's why you have to feel your feelings, because they're there whether you acknowledge them or not. They're still taking place. You just aren't in control of what's taking place. So I know I'm not going to be emotional. I'm not. You are emotional by saying you're not going to be emotional. I'm going to put on my emotional armor and I'm going to feel what I want to feel. Bullshit. Every 2 to 3 minutes, something taking place. You're just not acknowledging this shit. This fucking shit show palooza happening up here and out here, and you're just trying to ignore it. You're going to look that way because no, heavens to Betsy, if you feel anything other than what they want to believe is normal. No, I ain't crying. Why? We all got tear ducts. Crying relieves stress. So think about all the people who refuse to cry. They're stressed in a motherfucker. That prefrontal cortex is weak as shit. I'm not going to cry. Only women cry. Babies cry. Weak people cry. No, strong people cry. Because now you've let that out and your prefrontal cortex is strong. So if I feel tears, they're coming out. If I feel it's happening. And all the other feelings that exist every 2 to 3 minutes, 300 to 400 times a day. That's what's happening and more with the micro feelings. So you could go ahead and look as strong as you want to, but you weak as steamed lettuce. That's how it is. Soft as warm butter. Walking around with your little Halloween costume on, making people think you're strong. You're not. I told that person yesterday on TikTok Live, she kept telling me one shit wrong. I was like, I'm being guided by higher power to tell me that shit is wrong. And you are unwilling to admit it. Somebody going to the gym twice a day that's not competing for a physical competition got shit wrong. And they are trying to get those feelings out through exercise. You do not need that much protein from the brain-derived neurotropic factor that you need to be working out twice a day. You are hiding from yourself. I told y'all we saw David Goggins running about a month and a half ago. He lives in our area. And I was like, oh, okay. He out there avoiding some shit again. Callous your mind. No, don't do that shit. That shit sound crazy right now. Callous your mind. Then what? Cut off access to all your shit and just be strong. No, because the insula says have empathy, be vulnerable. The gut brain is sending you 400 messages a day one way to your head brain. That don't work. That work in hostile environments, but that don't work in day-to-day life. Trust me, I know. I had to get trained to eliminate threats. And then I had to come back to the civilian world. So that's no brain on. Do not callous your brain. Uncallous it. Don't let it atrophy. De-atrophy it. So you can use all of these amazing regions and lobes. That's what this is about. The everyday person having complete access to everything that your amazing brain has to offer. That's what you need to do. So you can build these comfort cocoons and have on your emotional armor and all of that. And you can keep your basal ganglia and your default mode network right here in this persona that you took years to create. Or you can dismantle that shit. You can pull that thread, let that shit fall apart. I actually have a t-shirt that says, let that shit fall apart. And you can build a better brain. You can build a better fucking brain instead of living in this neurotoxic environment that you created for yourself, that you just breathing in, reading, breathing, eating, toxicity all day long, and then bragging about that shit. That's no braino. So I am the everyday leader for everyday life. If you want to start learning how to use your brain and doing neural reps, go over to Instagram and subscribe. You can start there. You can start with daily neural reps. And as Sean said, before coming here, the answer to that quiz would have been totally different. It would have been. Jared wouldn't have been able to read a book in a week. Sean is making a clock from a tree that they cut at her house. And a lot of other people are experiencing other things as well. because you are learning how your brain functions so you can function better. That's what this is about. And I said this on TikTok Live, and I'm going to say it here, and then I'm going to go because I'm having a hot flash and I need to take my shower and start my morning because we do have appointments today. You cannot go buy neurons. I'm going to say that again. The one thing that you cannot purchase, and there are several, but one thing that you cannot purchase on the black market, on somebody else's economy, you ain't gonna see nobody in sad deals in the alley. Hey, yeah, so I'm gonna need about 100 billion neurons. 100 million neurons. How many you got? Oh shit, you only got 10 million. All right, give me that. How much is that today? You can't. No one's selling neurons. They might be selling skin cells and everything else and organs and shit on the black market, but which you ain't gonna get nobody say, yeah, you know what I'm saying? We got that BOGO on these neurons. You know what I'm saying? A twofer. We got 3 neural pathways for the price of 2. That shit ain't happening. But that's what you fucking need. You need your neural pathways. You need Hebb's law, fire and wire, synaptic connections and neural pathways to be a bad mofo. You can't buy it. You got to become it. It's the one thing that's not for sale, especially here in America. It ain't going to happen. You got to DIY this shit. You got to build it yourself. One neural pathway, really one synaptic connection at a time. And that's why everybody's trying to go do other shit. Because this is sweat motherfucking equity over here. And nothing else. Nothing else. You got to do it yourself. You want to be a bad motherfucker, you're going to have to do the work. You're going to have to challenge yourself and grow every single day. Grow continually is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. That's on you, boo-boo. And because I'm an everyday people, I am everyday people. Yeah. Okay, so I'm everyday people. Everyday people teaching you how to do extraordinary shit. That's what I do. I specialize in bad motherfuckingness, but you have to do the work. You got to create the neural pathways. That's on you. So if your life doesn't go how you planned it for the rest of your life, you can't unsee me. You cannot say you didn't know. You can say you didn't grow, but that's on you. You cannot blame anybody else after seeing me and hearing me tell you it's on you, boo-boo. That's it. It's on you. You could go try. You can go to conferences. Sean went to that women's conference, $900. I'm still floored by that. Nope. Keep your money. $9.99, $9.99, because the work is on you. You're going to have to do those neural reps every single day. Every day that you want to be a bad mofo. Now, if you don't want to be a bad mofo, cool. But sit your ass in your comfort zone and tell people, I ain't shit. I chose comfort. I chose emotional dysregulation. I chose negativity bias. I chose to be immediately gratified by dopamine that's been manufactured. Tell that part too when you start showing off your new shit. Tell that part too. On who? On me. Make sure you, when you showing, yeah, see, I got the, and then you tell them about the refrigerator that you could be at the store and say, hey, refrigerator, what's on the shelf too? I'm going to order all my groceries and shit. Yeah. Tell everybody that you chose regularness. I chose regularness and comfort, and I chose to enter into Faustian bargains that would keep my brain stuck. I chose to stay safe and stay the same. Stay safe and stay the same. And then just upgrade my accoutrements. That's all I did, is I'm upgrading my accoutrements. That's what you do. So you have a choice. Go to Instagram and subscribe, $9.99, or stay safe and stay the same. I will be back tomorrow, God willing, higher power in the universe, same time, same place, safe space, different brain t-shirt. You all go off and have a brain-tastic day. Take care.